Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Erongo Talk. My name is Leandria Low and today we join you all the way from the Stadtmitte Cafe here in Swakopmund. Now as usual we bring you the latest news, the weather and tides. We also bring you an interview with Lutz Feddersen, who is the owner of the Fachwerk Biergarten. He's going to tell us about his business, the origins of his business, and the troubles it has faced in the short time that it has been open. Now, another thing we are celebrating today is Random Act of Kindness Day. So I challenge you, please do a random act of kindness and let us know in the comments what you have done. No pictures, just let us know. So please don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this. And now it's time for your news. I'm here from the Stadtmitte Cafe in Swakopmund. Now 12-year-old Isai Tangeni Wayulu's body was found by Navy divers yesterday morning after he went missing on Sunday while swimming at Independence Beach. Now according to the Namibian Police Force Crime Investigations Coordinator Deputy Commissioner Erastus Ukuyu, Wayulu's body was found not far from where he was playing and swimming with his friends. It is suspected that the victim drowned, he said. Now Isai and his family and other children went to Independence Beach to swim on Sunday. Now while there, the Guardian noticed that the deceased was nowhere to be found. Now family members began searching for him around Quisapmont and Tutaleni but without success. They then reported him missing at the Tutaleni police station on the same day. Now the body was taken to the Walvis Bay State Hospital for certification and further handling. Now Kuyu said that no foul play is suspected thus far, so the investigations into the matter continues. And on another side note, Advocate Shakespeare Masiza, 50 years old, passed away in a local private hospital. That is on the 15th after a very short battle with COVID-19. Now, according to his family representative, Confidence Musariri, he is survived by his wife Lorraine and 3 children. Now describing him as a true fighter, Masiza was the first black Namibian to establish a law firm in the Erongo region, namely the Masiza Law Chambers. Now during his illustrious career, he served Namibia as the founding board chairman of the Namibia Desert Diamonds, that's NAMDIA, until 2019, having previously served as the NAMPOD chairperson. He was also the former chief executive of the Road Fund Administration. Now at the time of his death, Masiza was an admitted attorney of the High Court of Namibia as well as an advocate of the High Court. Now the love which he was surrounded in his final days was so great it cannot be quantified in words, Musariri said. Now the family would like to thank the frontline staff for their professionalism and the multitudes of prayers from across the globe that were made during Masiza's time in hospital. Now they also said that further details will be announced in consultation with the family and in relation to the current COVID-19 regulations. And then finally, private South African airline Airlink will be introducing a new route between the country and Namibia as from 2 March with flights between Cape Town and Walvis Bay. Now according to the media release, the Cape Town-Walvis Bay connection brings Airlink flights to 4 routes between the 2 countries. Now this new service is ideal for leisure and business travelers because the harbour town of Walvis Bay is both economically important and serves as the gateway to many attractions in Namibia, including the Namib Desert, Swakopmund and the Skeleton Coast. Airlink CEO Roger Foster said. Now the new offer will also be of interest to national and international travelers. Now the flights are scheduled for every Tuesday, Wednesday and Saturday with departures from Cape Town at 2 o'clock and arrivals at Walvis Bay at 4:15. Now the return flight from Walvis Bay is at 10 minutes to 5 with arrival in Cape Town at around 7 o'clock. Now passengers are allowed to take up to 20 kilograms of luggage and additional sports luggage weighing a maximum of 15 kilograms is permitted. But you can check out this and so much more. There's a lot more happening on our website. That's at www.erongo.com.na. That's www.erongo.com.na. And that is your news for today.
So joining me today is Lutz Feddersen. He is the owner of the Fachwerk Biergarten in Swakopmund. Hi Lutz, how are you?
Hello, I'm very well. How are you?
I'm doing well. So Lutz, Fachwerk has a very interesting origin story. Where did the idea for this beer garden come from? How did you start?
Well, I'm going to start from the beginning. I grew up in Windhoek. I finished school in Windhoek, and when I was 18, I went over to Germany and I lived in Munich for about 6 years. I did my studies there, my apprenticeship as a chef, but before I even did that, I drove around with my bicycle from one beer garden to the next, and I always told myself, when I come back to Namibia, I am going to open up a beer garden. Because it's not a restaurant, it's not a takeaway, it's the lifestyle and the culture that you have in the beer garden, sitting in the beer garden, having a few drinks, having a jowl, and if some hunger strikes, you can get something to eat as well. So that's actually the basic story of a beer garden, is more the drinking side. But all the food that we have mingles very nice with the beer.
Responsibly.
Drink responsibly, of course, yes.
So Fachwerk, you started it from the ground up. How did you get to starting this beer garden?
I was in Swakop on a holiday with my wife. My wife is also from Germany, and we came here on a holiday, and she actually saw that the place is empty. The doors were wide open and there was nothing going on here, so she got back to me and she said, let's have a look at it. And as soon as I put the first step into this place, I already visualized 90% of what we have here now. So it took me about 3 days to put everything, draw up sketches, get involved with architects and all these people. And the hardest part was convincing my wife, actually. Because, funny story, my wife is also from the hospitality. She's more in the service kind of point of view. And a beer garden, as I imagined, is self-service based. So it was hard convincing my wife to do a self-service beer garden. Well, she came and saw this place ready and set just 2 weeks before we opened up. That was the first time she saw it, how it is now. But yeah, that's how it came to Swakopmund. And the name Fachwerk is actually from the type of building. The black beams on a white building, that's called a Fachwerkhaus in German. And that became the name of this place. As this is one of the oldest Fachwerk houses that we have in Swakopmund, this is how I came to the name of Fachwerk Biergarten. It is a bit hard to pronounce in English and Afrikaans, but it does the
Fachwerk.
trick. But it does the trick.
So Lutz, you saw 90% of this building the moment you walked into it. What were some of your challenges in making this business a reality?
The biggest challenge was actually still living in Germany while this was being built and planned and constructed. I flew back to Namibia during the construction phase, and again before the construction phase to get all the licenses done and the heritage and all that. So the hardest part, the biggest obstacle was actually living in Hamburg and trying to get this place being built. We opened up in May 2019, and I only came to Namibia and settled here in April. So it was 1.5 months before we opened up. I came to Namibia and I settled here. So I only had 6 weeks of time to decorate the place, to put all the kitchen equipment into the kitchen and do what it is now, yes.
And when you originally were preparing Fachwerk for opening and you had this idea for your perfect beer garden that is now a reality, did you expect the kind of success that it is currently garnering?
That's a very hard question because, the success, we are actually quite successful at the moment. I think also the COVID time did also do its part to this. We focused mainly on the locals during COVID times with takeaways and trying to get the locals into the beer garden, that they also see we've got a kitchen at the back and the beer garden itself. It brought us further and it made more success focusing on the locals in that particular view. But as we were only open for 6 months before COVID struck, we are still crawling. We are still trying to make the baby steps that we need to do. It actually threw us back way before opening, especially financially wise. So we are still struggling, but it's getting better now. So we can see that the locals have actually accepted the beer garden here. They still need to learn the culture a little bit, and I'm trying to get this beer garden culture here, and it'll probably take another year or two. But it is actually going into the right direction, and yes, I am proud.
And I think you guys very quickly set yourself as a very iconic point in Swakopmund. About a month or two after Fachwerk had opened, this became my point of reference when I'm directing somebody somewhere. You know Fachwerk? Okay, like 2 blocks down. So what do you think makes Fachwerk so iconic to Swakopmunders? What makes them accept it so easily?
Well, the building itself is a heritage building. It's one of the oldest buildings here, and it's always been known to the people. It was different companies were in this place before. There was a butchery at one stage 100 years ago. Then there was just a trend house where they kept machineries, and then it became Fotoberens, which was probably over 30 years. Everybody knew this place. Everybody here in Swakop went to this place to get their passport photos taken. So that's one point of it, what makes it special. The other thing is, I reckon, the name itself. The name itself is something that sets in your mind. I must on this stage say the pilots of Bushbird were my best customers during the first months. They kept us alive, and they also told us it's the word, it's the pronunciation, it's the difficulty of or not knowing if you are pronouncing it correct or not, and that actually plays a big part in this as well.
So let's quickly, for the viewers out there who don't know it yet and who might not have become accustomed to you, what do you offer?
We offer, like I said at the start, it's more a lifestyle and a culture itself, but we offer Bavarian food. There's knuckles and roasts and schnitzels and half chickens. We try to even pronounce it in the Bavarian way on our menus. See if you find out.
Successfully?
Yes. Well, it's getting there, and we've got some typical Bavarian dishes that you only get here. And then on the drink side, as it is a beer garden, we have different types of beers on tap. So we have German Weissbier, we have the normal Namibian breweries beers here, and we have a new craft beer from Roof of Africa in Windhoek. They've got different types of beers, and we've got 3 of those different types on tap as well. So we are trying to focus on beer as our specialty. I've had a lot of people asking me for a selection of wine, and I always say, I'm not a wine bar, we are a beer garden, and we're going to stick to that beer theme as the food also is in type of with the drinks as well, with the beer. They work very well together. And of course the atmosphere, the friendliness. We are trying to be a family here. All our employees are friends and family, and we are trying to be a team as Fachwerk, and that's actually what makes this place unique and also good for families.
Wonderful. That was all you need to know right now about Fachwerk Biergarten in Swakopmund. Thank you for your time.
The rest you can come and find out.
Yes, of course. Come make a turn at Fachwerk whenever you are in Swakopmund and whenever you're feeling a little bit hungry or thirsty. Thank you, Lutz.
So, Prost.
With me today is KerenTill of Stadtmitte Cafe of the Lighthouse Group, and she's going to tell us a little bit about Stadtmitte Cafe, where we are today. So Keren, quickly, for those who don't know, what does Stadtmitte Cafe offer?
Stadtmitte offers a great vibey place where you can come and either pick up a takeaway coffee or a smoothie or a frappe, or a place to come and have breakfast with family and friends and just enjoy the vibe. It's in town, so it's nice for a quick coffee while you're trying to get away from work. And then over weekends, we're nice and busy as well. So great place for a breakfast, a lunch. We close at about 5:30, 6, so it's more a daytime venue, but a great place to come and sit and have an awesome coffee or a meal.
Of course. And then this eagle has been something that we've seen all over social media with the likes of Ease taking a photo with this eagle. So can you tell us a little bit about the background of this eagle? Why is it here?
Well, I've seen on Instagram, there are a lot of these Instagram walls, and so I wanted to do something for Stadtmitte Cafe. And then I thought it had to be Namibian themed, because obviously we want the tourists as well to come and take photos and promote our country. We're proud of being Namibian, we're proud of being an all Namibian company. So I went online and I tried to have a look, and there's angels and butterflies and what have you, and I thought, no, I want to do something that's a Namibian animal. And the eagle came to mind because the eagle is now our national animal, or national bird, should I say. And so I drew up this one. I kind of stole the idea a little bit from the American eagle, and I saw wings with an American flags, and I was like, this is perfect. And we had a refugee artist, his name's Elton, so he's actually called Elton, named after the artist. And he came and I did the mock-up for him, and he did an awesome job. He spent days sitting there and checking the layout, making sure it was perfect, and I think it's turned out really well.
So, Keren, Stadtmitte Cafe, I remember as a teen, I used to love Stadtmitte Cafe when it was at a different location. And then it closed down. Why the decision to reopen?
Well, what happened was Stadtmitte Cafe was successful and great where it was, and then we had an offer from a restaurant that wanted to buy out, and that was the Garnish restaurant. So we decided for the moment that we were happy to do that, but we always said we were going to open it again. And then we built Bonusmarktplatz, and the idea was to bring it here. And initially we had a tenant who was running the cafe, Christian's Cafe, and then they offered it to us to buy, because they had the Windhoek branch and it was a bit difficult for them to manage. So we said, right, we'll take it over and we'll now have the rebirth of Stadtmitte Cafe. So we're happy to have it back where it belongs in our portfolio.
Yeah. So, Keren, how has the success of Stadtmitte been since reopening?
I think really, really good. I mean, it's a coffee shop. It's not a full-on restaurant. So coffee shops are a little bit less, shall I say, profitable? Not profitable, but the spend is not as big every time someone comes to visit. But especially over December, we had the youngsters buy into the whole taking a picture with the eagle, with their smoothie and frappe. So it's really done very, very well. We're very happy with how it's done. And the response is good. It's got a fantastic location because it's on the main road, corner Walfish Bay and into Swakopmund. So I think that it's done really well. Yeah.
Wonderful. That was KerenTill from Stadtmitte Cafe.
Thank you for having me.
Great.
Hi there, my name is Rowan van Dyk. I'm an author, a speaker, and a leadership trainer. And I want to speak to you about the leadership flag. Now, just to explain to you briefly why a leadership flag, where it comes from. So what we did was we took the word leadership and we turned it into an acronym. Yes, I know Warren Buffett and several others have done it before. I wasn't quite keen on the words that they applied to the letters of leadership, and I also wanted not just to have a word, I wanted a bit more explanation as to why that particular word. And then the flag concept is, if you look back in medieval times, the flag was a very important component of identifying what group, what tribe, what clan you belong to. So if you look at Europe and the UK in medieval times, they had these large castles and they used to fly a flag over each castle. And that flag represented either the family or the clan or whatever group it was that was represented or that lived in that castle was represented by that flag. When they went to war against each other, the person in front would walk holding the flag, waving the flag proudly to proclaim that this is the group that was represented by this flag. If we look at the maritime environment and we look at the ships, ships used to fly flags. Today they still fly flags, but it's usually, those days it was sail ships, so they never had chimney stacks. These days the flag is represented against the chimney stack. But those days they used to fly a physical flag. Up the mast there was a flag at the top of the mast. And that flag also identified the country that you came from. It might even have identified a particular group or particular cluster that flew under a particular flag. It also would indicate whether you were friendly or not friendly. So in other words, were you at war? Was it a hospital ship? Flags were flown at half-mast to indicate that there was a death or there was mourning taking place. And even pirates had their own flags so that people could know that these were dangerous criminals that were going to overtake them and steal their loot. If we look at America and many other countries, they don't pledge allegiance to a person or a president or a prime minister. They pledge allegiance to a flag. So the flag is very important. It's an integral part of identifying who you are. So as a leader, you now have a leadership flag. A flag that contains the 10 letters made up in the word leadership. And in the next couple of videos, I will explain to you each one of those letters, what the word is that we've allocated to the letter and what the meaning is, why that particular word, and why these 10 attributes are important for you as a leader to be a real, authentic leader that creates change, that influences your followers and creates new leaders. So this concept, if you want to explore it further, remember this is from our first book, Why Great Leaders Are Catalysts, and the book is available on Amazon. So you could either put in Why Great Leaders Are Catalysts, or you could type in my name, Rowan van Dyk, on Amazon, and it will take you to the page where this book is available. So if you want more information, purchase the book by any means. Also, if you want to stay in contact, remember my website, rowanvandyk.com. So email me, find me on Twitter, YouTube, LinkedIn, Instagram, all the social platforms that are available, Facebook, all of them. So if you enjoy this content of these videos that I'm going to give you in the next couple of series, please do go and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Remember, you must click the bell icon, and then you will be notified of any new videos as they are released, so you don't physically have to go and look for them every time. They'll be sent to you and you will get them the minute they get released. So thank you, and I will see you back for the next series of videos with the first letter being L.
And now it is time for your weather and tides for all the major towns here in the Erongo region. Unfortunately, that brings us to the end of today's episode of Erongo Talk, and I must say we had an absolutely lovely time here at the Stadtmitte Cafe in Swakopmund. Now, my random act of kindness for today is going to be rescuing one of these cakes from their plates here at the cafe. So please remember to check out our website. That is it's www.erongo.com.na. That's www.erongo.com.na. You can also follow us on Facebook, on Twitter, and on Instagram. And you can also get in contact with us on WhatsApp and on Telegram at 0811 7040. That's 0811 7040. Please let us know on the number or in the comments below what do you plan to do for Random Act of Kindness Day, or if you've done something already. And who knows, maybe you might win something from the Erongo Talk team. Who knows? We never know. We're feeling generous today. So remember, we still find ourselves in the COVID-19 pandemic. Wear your mask, sanitize your hands, and at all times keep your social distance when you are around other people. Now, if you miss us too much, that's the Erongo Talk team, you can always check out our Facebook page, because we have a loads of shows for you, starting from early in the morning with Africa Good Morning, moving on to We Talk, NMH at 1, Evening Review, Klets Kompas, and then of course Erongo Talk. But there is so much more happening on our social media platform, so make sure that you get in contact with us and follow us on social media. So until tomorrow, where we join you from Warfish Bay, it's bye.